for something that potentially a lot of other people aren't, and you're talking out of experience, and you're talking out of passion for something that you genuinely believe in. But yeah, we'll see. Right, so guys,
I just put the link up on our social media again in case.
Oh yeah, brilliant. You can't. I'll tell you what. We will come onto your socials because
No problem. I will put it on our community.
you know, your socials are a breath of fresh air, and I absolutely love them. And I want to know everything about where that came from, who's the inspiration there, where that kind of sparks from. Yeah, do you know what? It's amazing, and you've done such a good job there. But we'll come on to that in a bit. But welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
We've got Yann and Victor.
Hello.
Hello.
So Yann, you're 33, is that right?
35.
35, blimey, 35. I'll update my notes on that.
Yeah.
And Victor.
I'm 33.
33. Ah, there you go. That'll be why. I had a 33 somewhere in there. So, guys, you are the owners of F15 in Malta.
Yes, that's right.
And we were just talking about island life and what it's like, because the Isle of Man where I am and Malta are very, very similar in terms of size and kind of location from mainlands and things like that. So a little bit about Malta. Can you give us like a quick rundown of what it's like to live in Malta and what the Maltese culture's like? I know it's very, very, like, the history of Malta is insane and very, very long. But in terms of like current day Malta, can you give us like a couple of minutes on what it's like to live in Malta?
He's the one that lived for longer than me. So
I mean, I've been here for 14 years. Malta is a Mediterranean island close to Sicily, Italy. So for us, being French, it's not a very big cultural difference because it's very Mediterranean on that kind of things. It's very warm all year round. We speak English as an official language, but obviously Maltese is the local language, which is a mix of different languages, such as Arabic, English, a bit of Italian. There is a bit of French as well. People are friendly. It's warm. It's everything's convenient because everything's close by, and it's a very nice place to be in. I mean, we wouldn't be here for so long if we didn't like it. So
yeah.
It's worth a visit.
I've known two Maltesers in my life, and both of them are awesome lads. Gilbert, and Dan. So I know two Maltese, and both of them are top guys. So obviously producing some really nice people. Culture like nowhere else on earth. I think Malta is an insane place, and it's pretty cool. I remember a fun fact that there was a Popeye film in the 90s with Robin Williams, and that was filmed in Malta. I don't know why that was.
Village.
There's the village. You can still visit. All the decors are still up there, so you can still go and see where the movie was shot, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, awesome. That's really cool. I like little trivia bits like that. Good. So back to you guys then. So originally, where are you from? Where were you born, guys?
So we were born in Lyon, both of us.
Okay.
But we in Lyon, France. So, but then we moved very early, so we didn't stay very long. So we moved to close, like 2 hours 30 from Paris. So it's a small city called Sablé-sur-Sarthe, which is close to Le Mans, which is more famous for the 24-hour circuit of motorbike and cars. Very famous circuit. Maybe some people passionate from motor sport knows. And so basically we spent most of our childhood there, and then we moved a bit for studying in Paris, around Paris, and Yann in Malta really to learn English at first. So maybe
I mean, we are French. Our dad is from Chile, so we have a mixed culture already. I was French. Our dad is from Chile, but we were born in France. As you said, we live 2.5 hours from Paris, and then we moved closer to Paris for studies. And then we ended up in Malta quite coincidentally, because originally I was supposed to go study in learn English in London, and I had a job set to go live there for a year. And before I was going to London, I got an opportunity from a friend to come visit Malta for a holiday. And back then I had no idea where was Malta. what kind of language was spoken there, and these kind of things. So I went for a holiday. I realized that it was a beautiful island. People spoke English. So I was like, why would I just go to London where it's cold, expensive, and so on, when I could actually stay here and learn English? So during my stay, during my holiday, I looked for a job. I found a job, and I got hired for a sort of gaming company kind of thing, for customer support, the basic thing that everyone starts with here in Malta. And I dropped the job in London, and I packed my stuff and I moved to Malta, and I stayed for about a year just to learn English and try to see how things were. Yes, that's how everything started with Malta, basically. Really,
right. What year are we talking about there?
That was 2010,
2000. Right. Okay.
2009. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I did my studies, so it was a very long time ago. I stayed a year, and then I came back to Paris to continue study, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do back then. Then I did an exchange. Actually, I went to London for university, and came back to Paris, and had my first business idea, because I was studying business in London.
Right. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, and I moved back to Malta basically because I was planning to set up my first business there, which was completely unrelated to sport or CrossFit or anything like that. I didn't even know CrossFit back then, because I moved back in 2012 to Malta.
Okay.
And and I ran an agency that was actually connecting students from French business schools to Maltese companies, and I was so I was bringing students to work as interns in Maltese companies at first. So the Maltese companies were outsourcing the recruitment process to my company, and I was bringing French students that I was interviewing and selecting to work with many different companies in Malta. And then we grew to different countries, but that's how we started. So we wanted to be based in Malta because we were primarily aiming to bring students to Maltese companies. So for us, being in Malta was obviously important, and because we loved it, so that was where we wanted to be. And that's how everything started. And Malta came, one thing led to another. And then moved to CrossFit later on, basically a few years later.
Yeah, and Victor, where were you during this time? Were you back still in France?
Yeah, I was around Paris, so Paris and the surrounding of Paris. I started studying sport and science. I've been doing sport all my life. I've been doing gymnastics when I was 6 years old, a bit of football, and then I spent most of my years trying to be a professional tennis player. But unfortunately, I had some little injuries that came on the way. I've been to South America in Academy of Tennis in Chile, because my father is Chilean, and I had an opportunity there as well. In Spain as well, in Bruguera, in Barcelona. So all sport for my life, and I decided when I knew that tennis would not be anything I would do for a living, to start studying sport and science, to specialize in sport in general, in physical preparation. So I started to study. I started to coach as well. So meanwhile, not CrossFit yet, but I had some friends actually when I was studying who were doing CrossFit in CrossFit Louvre. A friend that was actually coaching there, and was proposing me to try CrossFit, but I didn't have the opportunity to go with him. And later on, I had a CrossFit gym opening close to the city I was living, next to Paris. I went straight there, and I just loved it, because the way I was training was always with high intensity, mixing stuff without really knowing CrossFit. That was very similar to the way I was in training. I loved it, and it just needed a few months to know that was what I wanted to do, and that I wanted to teach, starting with level 1 at one point, and like everybody, and then that brought me to Malta, because this guy next to me was actually starting a kind of CrossFit. There was at the time there was only one affiliate in Malta, but it was a little bit far away from Yann. Nothing is really far in Malta, but was far away from where Yann was living. But there was a box that was not affiliate, where it was a little bit like how I would say they were doing a bit of CrossFit, but it was not really organized. They were doing a bit whatever they want, different coaches, no programming. Yann was going there with he was having the key, he was just training and was telling me like, listen, like now, like why don't you come to Malta and we open a gym?
It's a little bit more complicated than that, but
keeping it simple.
So I was back to the first company I set up. I used to be like Victor, a lot of sport on my life since we were a kid, a lot of judo and this kind of sport. I didn't take it because I followed this path as well. But what I was liking more was this kind of sport, contact sport, judo and these things. Anyway, back to the first company. So I spent a few years obviously working on that company, and that put me away from sport because I was so busy trying to build everything that I didn't really have time for anything than just working. So it took me a couple of years to manage to balance my time and find time for myself. And when that happened, my company was a bit more stable and had more time for myself. I had a friend who was coaching some beginner class in that place that was an unaffiliated little garage kind of gym. And she told me, you have to come and try. It's very fun, high intensity, challenging, and so on. And I like to challenge myself. And I was still going to the gym, normal gym, when I could. So I was thinking that I was fit and I was okay. It's going to be easy for me. So I jumped into my first kind of CrossFit class there. And I will always remember after a couple of minutes, I was dying. I was looking at the timer and I thought that there was 7 minutes left on the cap, but it was actually 7 minutes on the time. And it was over.
We've all been there.
Actually, you were thinking that the warm-up was the workout already. So he was just going all out to warm up,
No idea how to pace myself. I was trying to act tough and I got destroyed. And my mentality that, oh my God, I suck. So I can't stay like that and I need to improve. And that's how it got me into, I want more to be able to not feel that way again. So I kept on showing up. And back then I had already gained a lot of weight during that 1 year, 2 years setting up my company. I was about 85 kilo, but like not fat or chubby, but small, let's say. And when I started CrossFit that time for myself, I dropped 15 kilos in 3 months, and I was like extremely lean and fit. And as Victor said, I learned most of the movement by myself, or even from Victor giving me tips when he was in France on how to do this and that, and
remote coaching,
And what happened is that gym was really like, there was no money, no budget. It was more like he said, some members had the key, so we could go in and stuff. And at some point, when I start to master a little bit most of the movement, I felt a bit limited. I couldn't progress any further. It was really bad. And back then, that the owner of that place, we offered her to invest a little bit of money to refurbish a little bit the place, to make it nicer, buy some equipment and so on, which I thought was nice. And we were not asking in exchange much, just to make the place nice for everyone. It was very small community. And she refused. She said, no, it's fine like that. I'm not interested, and so on. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, if it's fine for you like that, unfortunately, it's not fine for me. And I knew my brother was already coaching, he had a lot of experience in sport and so on. And I called him, as he said, and I said, listen, are you up to do something with me? Because I think we can do something nice here. And as he said, CrossFit were not popular here. There was only one affiliate, which was further away from the central area, which is the area where you have most expat and where everything happens. It was a very small garage further away. So he said, let's do it. We start to look for a place, and we wanted to start slow because we had no idea what the response would be like.
And because when I came to Malta also, I was not speaking anything English, like a good French, Very bad. I arrived, I couldn't even order a sandwich pretty much. So that was that was it. But then it took a little bit of time to find a place, to start slowly, and
we found that the first premises, and the location was perfect because it was in a nice road. Down the road we had the seafront, pretty easy to park, people passing around, big window visible from the outside. So we started there basically, and it worked pretty well, not as you expected. Better than we thought. we started doing those kind of videos that were not. No one was doing. Yeah, that was. That was one room. We had two rooms basically.
Yeah.
On the right side, there was a door that you could open, and you had another portion of the gym,
Right.
changing room, and a small open gym area plus an office. But that was the main workout room.
Yeah.
So it was about 150 square meter.
Yeah.
So it was really, really small, but to start with was good. And to get started, what we did an open day. So we created an event on Facebook, and we wanted to run free classes all day long for people to try a workout and see the place and so on. And we had a really good response. All classes were fully booked all day. And we had a bit of a funny situation. You want to explain that happened?
That morning?
That morning.
Yeah. It was first we were opening, but my English was not yet amazing. So I was able to coach, but I was not so confident. So I needed a little bit Yann to be also here to make sure. And it was, we put money on it. We put our energy. We didn't want to mess up that day. It was like a lot of and we arrived that morning, maybe an hour and a half before we start the first class.
Just for context, the gym was ready for a month before the opening, so we had time to work out, train the gym, make sure everything was good, no problem. So 1 month, everything was perfect, everything was ready.
And we arrive and to that second part of the gym,
30 minutes before the first class.
The first class, a huge leak. Water everywhere. It didn't go luckily through the main area where we were doing the classes, but Yann was needed to take care of this. So actually, it was a good thing.
I mean, because the more details is that we opened the gym 30 minutes before the first class, so we're already a bit stressed out.
Yeah.
And we opened the door. We were hearing like a weird noise coming from the back of the gym. And we're like, what the hell is this noise? So we opened the second door going to the second part of the gym. And then we see water everywhere, like literally this much of water over the rubber floor. So basically a pipe broke during the night under the sink and kept on flooding for hours. We tried to open, we had a side door to try to open and clear the water, but the drain was clogged. So the water would not go anywhere. So panic, calling the contractor, try to come and help us. So I told Victor, listen, I'm going to fix that. You're on your own. And I can't help you. So the guy came, Victor started the first class, and everything went well. He managed to run the class, to explain everything. So everything went well. And that was our first experience.
Memorable.
Very memorable. And for the second gym we opened, something else happened. So for us now, it's a sign that if something goes difficult from the very first opening of the first day, it's a good sign for us because it's going to be successful. That day we signed up a few members, and we started after our first experience as gym owners with our first members. So it was, and it was a bit, for us also a test because we were foreigners in Malta, opening here, so it was, there was not much advertisement about CrossFit. Everybody was a bit curious. Everybody had that idea of CrossFit being just big guys lifting big weight and being super savage. And we wanted to try to show that it's more than that. So it was a challenge for us to try to bring people, show what we were doing, show that we were relevant in what we were doing as well.
In hindsight, so looking back, it's a memory for you and something you share. And probably, I don't know if any of those members that were there on the day when you first opened are still at the gym, but it's something that you can probably reminisce about, and it's a story to tell, And at the time, like that panic and that disappointment and that kind of sheer dread. That right in here, you're like, oh, and so close to like 20 minutes, and everything's going through your mind. There's a few instances that have the same feeling. Now, I've had one of my affiliates flooded a couple of times before. We had a funny roof, so it's the flooring. It was actually above the gym floor, and we came in one morning to open up, and it was completely flooded. So I know that feeling, but that wasn't on my opening day on session 1, day 1. So I can't imagine how that must have felt. But do you know what? Again, hindsight, you demonstrated how you can get hard stuff done, how you deal with hard situations, and how you work as a team. You've shown a group of people that you are able to do that, and you cracked on and you did the job anyway. So in hindsight, brilliant. But at the time, sheer terror.
But we realize sometimes that we are even better under pressure, you know, when it's not easy, it forces ourselves to do better. Like speaking about my English, I felt like in a day of just being in myself, because it was not just about coaching, it was about socializing, talking about everything. We were organizing, we were having food, drinks, we were sharing with the new members our experience, who we are, who they are, their interest, and that helped me so much. I think in one day I gained 6 months of learning English, you know. It was really and under pressure we always better, and that's finally always a bad thing is for a good thing.
I will come back to that in a sec, but Heidi, we've got a lady from America. She wants to know if either of you are single.
Sorry,
are you single? We are
both married.
Heidi, I'm so sorry. She keeps trying. Hard situations that under pressure, I think real leaders come out to sort of show themselves. And it's funny, isn't it? It's like an instinct. It's in there. I don't think you choose to act that way. I think that's built up over years and years and years of being put under pressure in situations. And I can't speak for yourselves. I'm assuming, were your parents both around growing up during your childhood and teens? Are they still around?
Yes. Very
lovely.
Small family, just the two of us. Our mom and our dad in France, they are divorced, but they are a very good friendly relationship. They are always very supportive in everything we do, and they always push us to do our own thing. And
it seems to be the case, and this isn't to discredit anyone that doesn't have this kind of background, but when you've got supportive parents that are instilling values of hard work, discipline, focus, self-respect, working hard under pressure, out of that you get adults that are really good under pressure. And it's not like you walk into situations choosing to work well under pressure. I think as soon as the term shit hits the fan, as soon as you come under pressure, there's an instinct in there. There's something, it's like a switch, and you go into this role of managing situations and taking care of things. And it's funny, I don't know, you might say, you might be able to attest to this as well, but at the time, it's almost as if you're in there, but you're not in control of how you're dealing with that situation. After the fact, so an hour later, a day later, you can reflect on it and think, I did that. I was there, but I didn't feel like I chose that path and that role and that kind of how I dealt with it. It's a really funny situation. And I think that kind of person, like you've just described yourself in that situation, that demonstrates what you want in leaders. So running a gym and running competitions and being in charge of groups of people and giving them an example and showing them leading from the front. It doesn't have to be extremes, but when people see how you act under pressure and how you deal with that, I think there's a level of respect that comes with it as well. And the best CrossFit coaches that I've seen and that I've heard from and that I've experienced are the people that have had to deal with extreme situations in the past and can roll that out and focus and demonstrate what it's like. And we go through these little, these micro traumas in the gym every day. These workouts, the reason people love CrossFit and stay with it is because of that. We share this experience of forcing ourselves to be really bloody uncomfortable in a group environment and putting ourselves under pressure. We willingly put ourselves under pressure to perform and to be accountable. Heidi likes that phrase, micro trauma. But anyway, back to you guys. So it is 2016 then. and you've opened F15.
Yeah.
How did the first? Sorry, one thing before that. Your L1. I want to ask about your L1. Have you both done the L1 as coaches?
Back then, you mean?
Now have you both done your L1s?
Victor is a level 3 trainer.
Level 3, yes.
Awesome. Right. Okay. So let's talk about that then. So because the couple that I spoke to last week from Holland, Linker and Russell, they both did their level 3, and they sound very, very similar to you guys in their approach and how they operate their gyms. Why did you do your L3, Victor? Can I ask that question?
So I did my level 1, then my level 2, and then what happened is I was thinking maybe one day to do the level 3, but to be honest, I got a bit under pressure once again because I realized that my level 2 was about to expire. It was recently, like I received the email maybe so last year in summer, something like July, August, something like this. And then I was having the possibility either to pass once again my level 2 or to pass the level 3, so wait that my level 2 expire, or pass and go past my level 2 again, or pass my level 3. And I didn't know what to do yet until maybe October, November. And then I say, listen, I will just take a date for level 3 and I will try my chance. I didn't study. I didn't do nothing. I was just like, I will sign up. I will just sign up for it. So it's what I did. And that was a way to test a little bit all my years of coaching. A lot of people say, yes, level 3 is hard. You need to study a lot. Obviously, it's much harder test than level 1 and level 2, that's for sure. But I think that if you're a passionate coach, that you try always to develop your coaching, to learn from other coaches as well, to keep on studying every day, to take any classes that you're doing and try to think how could I do better for my class? How could I bring more to the people? What did I do good? What did I do bad? Always trying to improve for every single class. And that's what I did for years. I'm very hard with myself as well. And so I say, let's just try my chance. Obviously, I put a little bit an eye on all the content of CrossFit again, especially nutrition, because I know nutrition is not my best point. But yes, so I went through a little bit and I passed my level 3. It worked well. I got it, and it was good. It was good as well to go back to some old study material of CrossFit that you forget time as well. That's also our foundation, and that make you get once again better. You know, it's always going back to the foundation and bringing that back, and then like you realize that sometimes you also forget yourself some stuff, you know. And it was a good way to get once again a step forward to be better, you know.
That's well said. I talked about this last week. Continued learning for coaches is so damn important, and it also shows that your members, that you are willing to invest in you getting better, because the only reason we run these gyms is to improve people's life by making them better, you know, and perform better and feel better and think better. If we're unwilling to do that ourselves, then we're not really demonstrating what we're trying to, you know, we're hypocrites. So it's always a good idea to lead from the front. So the L3 is a massive achievement. So well done on that. Not many people are able to pass that, let alone first time. So you did a good job there. And Yann, where are you in terms of your coaching? I know obviously Victor's got a kind of a broader background in coaching with his you know studies and everything. But where are you with?
From my end, I've got no level whatsoever. I'm level 0 because basically, so I've been training CrossFit for a very long time. But my background is more the business side of things, taking care of the marketing, the administration, the accounting, the organization, and because the coach. So For us, we are two different people doing two different things, and we complement each other in making the place what it is now. But my goal was never really to coach, because that was not what I was trained for and passionate about. I'm passionate about bringing value, communicating about the value we bring, and growing in that sense. So me, obviously, I'm able to coach because I'm always at the gym. I'm always with Victor. I can hear all the cue and the tips he gives. So now it's like accurate. But I'm not calling myself a coach. I'm the owner of the gym. I'm always here to help and give advice, because I competed a lot. I train. I still train. But I'm not calling myself a coach. So that's the different things. I think that what makes us what we are now is basically we complement each other. That's why it's working well, because we each have our own job. I'm not going to tell him what to do, how to do it, because definitely I have no, I'm not competent in that. What I'm doing, obviously, I always have to have his opinion if he thinks that the way we are going is the image we want to bring and so on. But I know what I'm doing, so he leave it up to me. And that's been working very good like that. So for me, also the fact that when I see what the level 1 is, I think it was going to bring me more than just a paper. And so that's more or less the reason.
I think the way that you've set yourselves up, I mean, you're first of all, your brothers. So everything that you do, you can trust each other. You've got that as a foundation. Your brothers in business together. Your backgrounds that we talked about, Yann, you've got your business studies, and you're clearly very, very switched on with business, and your pre-CrossFit life, let's call it. So your studies and your work in your recruitment agency, you've learned how to see bits and people that they don't necessarily have, and recruit them in and promote them and put them into task. Victor, your sports studies and your coaching ability and your willingness to get better and improve, you've got a really strong foundation there for a gym. So it works well. And again, the couple that I spoke to last week, very, very, very similar. So Russell is this accountant. He's the business side of it. He's the business brain. And Ninka is a CrossFit coach. She's been at the top level of coaching. She brings that to the table, and they run the gym smoothly, effortlessly, as a perception, because they work really well together, and they're not afraid to admit where they're not the lead on something. They're willing to delegate that role. They're willing to share that. So I mean, you've got a really good foundation there and a really good focus, which is lovely to hear. So let's talk about F15. So I'm going to get your website up now. So this is the current website. Where are we? Sorry, please hold the line. So this current website is a superb website. I looked at this a couple of times, and I was trying to find anything that I couldn't spot on here. And there's literally everything that I could want as a recruit, recruiting a gym for myself. If I move to the area, everything is on here. You've got your testimonials from your clients. You've got the pictures of totally different body types all over the website. You've got different movement patterns. What I don't see here is an emphasis all on sport. I don't see the sport as lead. I see your community at the front, and I see passion, and I see coaches, I see community. Has that been for you what you wanted to drive forward with?
Basically what we want to show is that our gym is very beginner friendly. All type of people are within our community. There is no distinction between age or the common things that everybody say, but it's true. That's what we really want to show. And that's basically the thing that we want to show, that it's accessible to anyone, and they should feel comfortable, because even if CrossFit's been there for a while now, people still have that image of CrossFit being too hard for big guys lifting these weights. And really want to show that anybody can do it. your physique is, whatever your background is. If you have injuries, we can scale everything to your needs. So that's what we are showing, and we wanted to. A lot of gyms that we have seen them communicating on their competitors, on their performance, on the high skills, and it's great, but it's not what the core of the gym is made of. And we focus on what it's made of, and that's beginners, people wanting to lose weight, get fitter, challenge themselves. So our main focus is exactly this kind of videos. We want to show raw footage of what a class is like, so they can see, what to expect when they come to the gym, what kind of attention they have, what kind of tips they have, and they just see by themselves that it's not just big guys lifting big weight or doing muscle ups and handstand walks. So that's what we wanted to show mainly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
So we keep on doing that. And even if we are doing that non-stop, we still have people with that mindset of messaging us and but it looks nice, but it looks too hard. I think I will go to the gym, and when I'm here, I will come. And we're like, oh my god, no. We are always constantly trying to debunk these thoughts and bring them here, and just come, show up, and we'll take care of the rest. All you have to do is step to the door, and we'll take care of it.
Yeah, you've got an advert or Instagram ad that I'll come to in a minute that just highlights that in a fun way. But this video I've got on the screen of you coaching Victor. I'm not going to play the audio. However, this is such a superb video of demonstrating what it's like to be a very, very good coach as an individual, to be coached. The cues, the tips, the commenting, the demonstration, it's all ticked there. This video is superb for anyone wanting to see how coaching should be in a CrossFit gym and the experience that you're going to get. And again, one thing that I don't know if you get this where you are, but the one comment that I used to find quite a lot is about the cost, the expense of CrossFit. As soon as you break it down per hour, so it usually comes out somewhere between $5 and $8 euros pounds per hour if you come in 5 times a week at your cost, around there. When you break it down and you see and you demonstrate that level of coaching that you're going to get, basically PT for probably 5 to 6 minutes of the hour, you as an individual will get one-on-one time with a coach. You get an environment with other people. It's hard to demonstrate that on a 20-second video clip. But you seem to have done that on a lot of your posts with you, Victor, especially when you're coaching. And you've got a lot of other coaching videos on there. And I think it's really, really important that we show what's the reality of what goes on in good CrossFit gyms. We demonstrate that and we put that out to the media. And that's on the affiliates. That's on the gyms to do that. And you've taken that and you've run with it and you've done such a good job with there. So I can only commend you for your social media in terms of the quality of what you're putting out. Now, when it comes to social media as well, I do want to talk about your videos, and I will come to that. I've been Heidi's a friend that I speak to pretty much every day, and a few weeks ago when I found your Instagram page and I watched some of your videos, I immediately forwarded them to a group of people and said, watch this. And they came back straight away like, oh my God, this is brilliant. It's very unique. It's very lighthearted. It's very, it sums up a really good working environment. But I will pull up a couple of them. But first, I just want to ask you this one. What is F15? So why did you come to the name F15? What brought that about?
You want to go? I go.
Came from our grandfather.
Right.
So Yann will explain the rest. Because
I mean, our grandfather, we have a small family, so we're always very close with one another. And our grandfather used to be very business-minded, run a lot of different type of businesses and so on. And before he started to be such a business person, he used to be a pilot in the army. And because back then his eyesight was not up to standard for the French army, he actually flew to America and got his license of pilot in the USA. And then once he got his license, he flew back to France and he was somehow able to fly. So then he joined the army in France. So basically, the logo is basically the wings.
Yeah.
Our logo changed throughout the years. It was basically this was the old shape of the logo when we started, but we simplified it over the years because it was too complicated on merch and so on. But originally, what the funny thing is that we had requested a different name from CrossFit, and they kept on asking the question, why this name, why this plane name, because it's American plane, and they rejected it. We don't know why, so we kept on trying to find a name that he used to fly and so on until we managed to get that one. So that's where it was more like a to commemorate, we say, to keep memory of our grandfather. Because I believe that I get that entrepreneur mindset from him, because I was always looking up to him when I was a kid. He was taking us to his different companies, and I was always like, I want to be like that. And from when I was 14 years old, I knew I was going to do my own thing. I was not going to work for someone. So when we decided to work together with Victor, it was quite obvious for us to do something that was going to remind us our roots, and that's where it came from, basically.
Oh, that's lovely. And do your members know that? Is that something you talk about or have spoken about?
Sometimes they ask us. When they ask us, we are happy to share that with them. But yes,
and we have some picture of planes behind the reception as well. So sometimes.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, again, adding a familiar background to the gym, making it that traditional box, which is awesome, which is lovely to hear. Just one thing that I was going to ask you, Yann, was about your jiu-jitsu, because I see that you are you regularly competing still? So I saw this picture, and Heidi will like this because Heidi does jiu-jitsu. So that's you there in the middle.
Yeah, it's me.
So this was last year, so coming up to a year ago. So what's this? It's a AJP tour in Hungary. So talk us through this. So your jiu-jitsu, you said earlier that you did judo when you were younger. Tell us about your transition into jiu-jitsu.
It's basically, so my background was more like judo and so on when I was a kid, and I always liked it and I was good, but then I stopped, and as a kid you just try different sports, you're influenced by your friends and so on. But anyways, I did CrossFit for many years. I mean, I still do, but I was more training for competition, which is different type of training than hobby CrossFit. And I injured myself, and basically I had an injury. It's long story short that basically no one could ever figure out how to fix, and it still affects me up to today. Thank you, Maria, for the comment. Anyways, and that basically slowed me down in CrossFit workout, because every time I was doing a lot of movement with hip flexor and so on, it started to create some kind of pain on the side. And I pushed through the pain for many years, competed with pain, but at some point there's that much pain you can take, and it got, okay, now I can't do that CrossFit at that competitive level anymore. So let me try to find a sport that doesn't trigger this pain, injury as much. And I thought about what sport I liked, and I came back to my original background when I was a kid. And funny enough, two of my friends, also two brothers from Belgium, they opened an academy of Jiu-Jitsu in Malta, two black belt, amazing coach. I'm like, I should try that, because that comes back to a bit of judo, and they always push me to try. And I joined the beginner course. I fell in love, and I never stopped. Now
what year was that?
That was about a bit less than, it's going to be 3 years this summer. So
lovely.
I started as a white belt like everyone else, and I competed for 6 months. And that's funny, because what you mentioned before about how you're under pressure and these things, I found them in this, because and you say when you have pressure and you don't think and you just do things like that's exactly what happened. You spend time to drill a specific game plan, specific techniques. And when the moment comes, I was so, my first competition, I was so anxious that when my name was called and I stepped on the mat, it's like I had a tunnel vision. I didn't see or hear anything. I just repeated what I drilled, and I did like a robot what I knew. And that reminds me what you said before, that under pressure, you just do what you know. That's what happened that day. So I found that on the mat. And I compete. I don't compete all the time because competition is, it's not everything. But I like to competition give me like a drive and a goal and push me in training more and wanting to learn more. But I'm not doing it to, try to reach a certain level. Now I'm 35, I don't have a career ahead of me. But I'm doing it for fun, for challenge, and it builds also constant strength and improve the strength, the mental strength.
Yes.
So
I love
it. And also I'm adapting my training in CrossFit to improve my performance on the mat. So CrossFit will always be a very important part of me, basically, because that's what we do now to promote. But considering my condition, I'm using CrossFit to develop my game on Jiu-Jitsu. So it combines very well. We have athletes at the gym that do CrossFit for CrossFit, but we have a lot of athletes from different sports that use CrossFit to perform in their sport. These things. So
and that was the original intention behind CrossFit. That the last paragraph is regularly learn and play new sports. At the end of the fitness in 100 words. So if you're not doing that, then you're not really living the CrossFit, ethos, which is kind of why competing in CrossFit, but for a short time is admirable. And when the circus comes to town, I mean, we talked about this before. When the circus comes to town, it's great. We admire it. We go, hey, you're one of us. We're going to look after you, and you're one of us. But I think from the individual, community-driven box affiliate owners' perspective, it's more important for us to see GPP, so general physical preparedness, in the gyms being applied outside of the gym, not in lanes racing up and down against each other. And that's always been my kind of focus on CrossFit, because I was very, very, very fortunate. My first box that I stepped into preached that. And as a 26-year-old bloke walking into a CrossFit gym, it could have been very different for me in terms of my path in CrossFit. And here we are sort of 14 years later, where I'm still saying the same thing as I was then. But no, it's great to hear. And Jiu-Jitsu is a funny one, because I think that the struggle, the chess games that you're playing in your head, you're working actively against someone coming for you. And that, I think, whereas CrossFit, no one's coming for you. They're in the lane next to you, but they're not actually interfering with what you're trying to do. And the both of the gym owners that are at the affiliate owners that I'm at with now on the island, they both do Jiu-Jitsu. They've both been doing CrossFit since 2011, 2012 as well. And it just seems to be that the affiliate owners of yesteryear all fall in love with that new challenge of Jiu-Jitsu. It's very, very popular, I think. And I think because it's that under pressure, that focus, that physical exertion, CrossFit lends itself quite well. The other good thing is that with a bit of thought and focus, you can run strength classes and adapt sessions for, Jiu-Jitsu, members.
We actually partnered with that Jiu-Jitsu gym, and we built programs of training adapted to people who want to do Jiu-Jitsu. So we split it in different portion, strength portion, conditioning, strength and conditioning, and preparation before a competition, to give them tools to, because they have the gym we train at, they have a small gym area with functional gym area. But I was seeing a lot of people just training randomly, doing some bench, some squats. And after speaking with a lot of people, I realized that they were all training without any program, without any structure. And I'm like, hey guys, I was your time. You're doing just a little bit of this and that, but there's no plan here. So we spoke with the owner, and we developed programs that are available for free for all the academy. And people can follow the program. At least they have like a something progressive to improve and to prepare themselves.
And one other thing that you have that's very, as they say in Zoolander, so hot right now. It's one of my favorite films. Hyrox. This is October, end of October last year, talking about like Hyrox programs and classes and sessions at your gym. So talk us through that. So a lot of the audience here will be American initially, like when we watch this tomorrow. In terms of the European scene, they might not know how kind of distinct Malta is away from other countries. So to travel for an event in where you're from and from where I'm from, they're very similar. it takes a lot of drive to go away to compete somewhere off the island because there's transfers and this, that, and the other. When it came to the decision to affiliate to Hyrox, how long did that take you to decide, and what was the driving kind of factor behind adding Hyrox to your kind of repertoire of classes that you offer?
Well, we start to see a rising trend in Hyrox. We looked into it, and for us, we've been spending many years to try to teach CrossFit. Hyrox is for us nothing different than CrossFit without the high skills. So we get
a bit more running.
With a bit more running, obviously.
Yeah.
So we're definitely qualified to propose Hyrox more than any other people as CrossFit owners.
Yeah.
So we looked a bit of what it was, and it was obvious that it had to be something we offer because there was a high demand in Malta for it. And there was only one or two gym that were offering some kind of general Hyrox classes.
Yeah.
So we decided to do our own way because we always do our own thing. And with Victor, we discussed, and we just split Hyrox into different section.
Yeah.
So we don't do just a one Hyrox class. We developed a Hyrox strength class to focus on building strength foundation for the Hyrox movement. You want to explain the classes?
Yeah, so we have the Hyrox strength, as Yann said. We have the Hyrox stamina. So obviously, continue to develop the endurance and muscular stamina through high intensity. So a little bit higher intensity than an Hyrox, which is going to be a little bit of a longer effort. We have the Hyrox performance, which is going to allow those who wants to push a little bit more for 1 hour 30 of class to now simulate pretty much what would be the proper feeling of an Hyrox. And then we have the Hyrox baseline, where here we are focusing more on that running part specifically, but also all the ergs and really building a strong conditioning and improving also the technique. Running technique, which is usually not taught that much in general, not just only in CrossFit. People don't really know how to run; they just run by feeling. We have a very good coach for that, who's been taught by a famous running coach in Brazil. So he was really happy to run that and help people today. We try to bring everything you need for an Hyrox race. People have fun doing this as well, combined with CrossFit. And to talk about Hyrox as well, because we can see on the result that on the social media that it's a bit of a war, Hyrox yes, CrossFit. And saying CrossFit is dead now. CrossFit is dead. Hyrox is the new thing. I'm thinking that Hyrox is actually a very good thing for CrossFit. I'm thinking that because now we can see it. People are coming to our gym to do Hyrox. They discover CrossFit. They discover that, there is, because our center is still CrossFit. So we have some Hyrox classes, and around they have a lot of availability classes for CrossFit, because once they have a membership, they can do everything. So what they do is that they want to train. So they will do the Hyrox classes, but they will also try our CrossFit classes. So we promote our CrossFit as well. We promote to people how to be stronger, how to move better, how to learn new skills, and that's they enjoy CrossFit. And if that would be only a trend for a few years of Hyrox, like some say, that's gonna allow people to shift into CrossFit. And if it keep working, it keep on working. But I think both will help each other. And it's a good test as well, and a good thing for CrossFitters to maybe focus a little bit more also on developing their fundamental conditioning. Sometimes people spend too much time with barbell. Like Olympic weightlifting, it's amazing feeling. People love it, but forget a little bit the foundations as well. I think it's a good thing.
What I want to point out is that people always clash CrossFit Hyrox. At the end of the day, CrossFit is a methodology of training, and Hyrox is a race. It's a race.
Exactly.
You're comparing things that are completely different, and the purpose of each is completely different as well. So
so if you can help people to crush an Hyrox because they want to do a race, or they want to just do this, we are happy to help them, and we are happy to provide our expertise as a CrossFit coach even though we are not Hyrox Pro, but the movement we use, I mean, we've been having the turf scene forever in our gym, so we know how to use a sled. We've been,
exactly.
in wall balls forever. I mean, that's not a secret for us. We know what different stimulus you have for different workouts, how you should be training, how you should be training for an Hyrox, how we program. How programming CrossFit is probably one of the most challenging programs you've got to do, because you have so many things to go around. So programming Hyrox is just feels like just a piece of cake, to program, compare programming CrossFit. So I think,
and from a perspective, it's also for us giving us a different angle of communication and attract people from a different perspective. So it's a very good point for us to
nailed it. You've sorry. So I know you go.
I want to bring that also the way we created the classes of Hyrox was also a way to complement our current classes, because what we did a bit different from the beginning of CrossFit is that we've seen when we started that CrossFit had that image of CrossFit is like hard and blah blah blah. So we decided to split CrossFit into specialty classes, and we're the first affiliate in Malta to start our own specialty classes. So we created a weightlifting class, gymnastic class, stamina class, strength class, which originally started were called functional bodybuilding, in reference to Marcus Philly, because we loved this program. But then we realized that bodybuilding was also too bodybuilding, so a lot of people were off, and even women. So we changed to functional strength, and we have now about 10 different classes in the gym. So people, they also can pick their class according to their preference, what they want to work on.
Their weaknesses specifically. So when there are new members, we always start to talk. We provide also a first consultation, so they can really talk to a coach personally and about their goals, and to guide them through, like, because they also have questions when there is many classes. What should I do? So they keep in mind that CrossFit is the main program to make them fitter overall, but then around that, through the CrossFit program, they might figure out that, okay, my upper body strength such, or maybe in general, I would like to learn more Olympic weightlifting movement, focus on my technique. So then they have the different possibilities, and we help them to improve as much as possible.
And that keep them also very engaged, because it's not only a timetable with CrossFit everywhere. You can have a stretching class, we have a team workout, we try to vary a lot the type of training, the type of stimulus, and so on, so they can always change, try to think different, so they don't get bored that way. So,
but we also need to educate them. That's a bit more work also, to educate them on how to manage their week, because otherwise they can really
do too much
as well, and
they run the risk that if you don't communicate and consult with people when you've got a very diverse timetable like that, they can either go one way or the other. They can do too many different things and not actually get anywhere with any of it, or they can burn out, and after a month they don't come in for 2 weeks because they've got adrenal fatigue and they're wrecked.
You can see
and we try to share as much as possible everything. So we are sharing our cycles, what we are going to do for the cycle of each specialty, what we are going to focus on the cross.
And again, all of that's linked, as if you'd have come to Hyrox, a CrossFit gym 15 years ago, you wouldn't really have seen many specialty classes in there, to be honest, because at the time CrossFit was still very early. You hadn't had the market adaptations. So over the last sort of decade or so, CrossFit gyms have had to adapt to the market, because offshoots of it, other gyms, functional fitness gyms that come about that aren't affiliated, they've all sprung up, and because of that competitive environment, CrossFit gyms have had to think differently and do things differently. And the ones that didn't necessarily survive, but the ones that did are the ones that found the gaps in their market. And my personal belief is just what you've just said. Hyrox comes around, and what it does, it offers two things. One, it offers something to train for the endurance side of things. So we claim to create the fittest on earth in CrossFit, and to get you as fit as we can. It's the best methodology for fitness. Okay, test that. So go and do a Hyrox event and see how your endurance is, your capacity, your cardiovascular system. How did you find that? Was it really, really hard? Did you have to take 3 hours to do it? Right. I think we need to focus on that side of your training now, rather than doing 1RM back squats and Olympic lifting every other day. I think we need to focus probably on that. We want all-rounded longevity for people coming in the gym. We don't want to, specialize too much. Having said that, we have had speciality classes like weightlifting, powerlifting, gymnastics seminars, rowing seminars, how to use this, how to use that. We've had that all along. So the way that I see Hyrox is, it's a speciality class for CrossFit gyms. It's come and work on your endurance, come and work on your capacity building. It's just another addition to what we offer at the gyms, and it's lovely. And also the second thing, and like you said a minute ago, I think it was Yann that said it, it's a recruitment drive. There's this massive net. We've just broadened our net that we go fishing with in the market. They come into the to the gym for Hyrox, so for these HIIT sessions, for these endurance sessions that they don't realize. They start using kettlebells. They start using barbells because we use them for the strength training. It's not exactly the same. They're not doing your clean Olympic lifting and top end weight or high level gymnastics, but they're there. They're in the environment, and a lot of the hurdle that a lot of people have coming in, like you said about earlier, is what we see in the media, is what the body types, the people that we see, the sport, the muscly guys with the shirts off doing Olympic lifting all the time. As soon as you get Hyrox advertising, as soon as you get that sweaty effect, as soon as you get a lot more females in the pictures and the events and the races and the running, your scope for recruitment for members just triples. More people on the high street are going to want to do a Hyrox style session initially anyway than they will do if they see snatches and Amanda going on, let's say. So all it is a recruitment tool for gyms. And I personally think, I'm agreeing with you here, I think affiliates are silly if they're not jumping on and embracing it and having that, because it's a massive part of what we do. It's not in contention with, it's an addition to. And Yann, like you said, it's an event. It's not a methodology. CrossFit is a methodology. If you only see CrossFit as a sport, yes. Yeah, I agree with you. You're going to be in contention there, but we don't see it that way at the affiliate level majority of the time. So that's that. So that's Hyrox. Now, one thing that we touched on earlier that I'm really keen to hear your thoughts on, the Open. So let's talk about the Open this year. So let's talk about your experience. Sorry, actually, no, I'll tell you what, the Open historically. So have your gym historically put any emphasis on the Open up until 2024?
A lot of emphasis.
Up until this year, yes, actually. So we've been we didn't miss any of the Open. We always found that magic with the Open that I will talk about, because that's a bit the magic that we kind of lost a little bit this year, that we hope that's going to come back. But yes, every single year we've been organizing the Open. We've been doing it with the community. We've been proposing it to the class. We'll be proposing it as a competition style with our members to just enjoy something together by HIIT and making it a little bit more fun and challenging. So like you would do for any nice competition, but that for 5 weeks at a time and 3 weeks for the last few years. So it's something that always has been important for me as well, or for us as athletes, to participate, to do it within the community with our members, and that always has been 5 weeks. That was just amazing, stressful as well. A lot of organization, but really nice for the community to bring people together and to make them understand what is CrossFit about. That's an opportunity for even new members to join in and to understand that you can go even a little bit farther through your limits, but you can have a lot of fun and that community.
I think that, as you said, the magic of the Open started to fade a little bit over the years. And I think it's because the way of how CrossFit HQ has been communicating on it. I don't think they've done anything different, or they try to level up anything. They didn't try to build any excitement. and that's why slowly the momentum start to slow down. And we felt it, as he said, because over the years we've been trying to bring the community through this event. Matter of fact, about 3 years ago, we actually got a reward from CrossFit for having one of the highest amount of sign up as members, because we had over 100 plus sign up, or 150 plus sign up members for the Open. And this year we have 2.
Right.
Four. Yes. 4. And 2 of them are basically our 2 athletes that are basically fittest in Malta every year, basically. So they do it. They love to do it, and they just want to keep their status of being the fittest in Malta. From a community perspective, I mean, no one, like, we wanted to see, because before people were asking questions, the Open, how are we going to organize? So we were feeling that everybody was like looking forward to it.
So before we were not just promoting it, it was just coming also directly from the members.
Yes.
And we were also promoting it. This year we wanted to see, like, if without promoting, if it's something will happen.
People will ask, because the date was coming close, and I'm like, I was Victor, have you noticed that no one asked about the Open? No one. Like, to be fair, like, even us, like, we didn't feel like it was anything important anymore, like it used to be. And let's ride it that way and not do anything about it. And if people want to do it, they can do it at the gym, obviously. And we've seen that not only from our side, because no other gym in Malta have been communicating mostly about the Open, or a couple of them have been trying to twist it into a team version of things. It's not before. And you can see the leaderboard in Malta. It's how many people in Malta?
I don't know, maybe 10 male, maybe 5, 6, 7 females, which is very low, because it was actually going up the last few years, maybe not last year, but now it went completely down. So
so I've been.
So the scoring as well has always been an issue, and I think people who've been really onto the Open, trying to stick to the standard, and have been seeing a lot of bad habits and things done. They are off. They got frustrated. So
that's an interesting point. The discussion around, and the kind of the visuals of being shown that bad standards are accepted and submitted, and scores are going up that are clearly subpar. I think when you put so much emphasis as an affiliate owner, when you emphasize form and standards when you're testing, so in the Open, and then you're shown what is allowed and what's getting away with, it's a little bit disheartening, I'd say. And because we've had a lot of that kind of pushed online and shown to us, that's not a bad thing that it's been highlighted. But I think there needs to be action on that. Now, I don't envy CrossFit HQ whatsoever in having to accommodate and change for that, because it's always been the case that people are going to skirt the standards and kind of, enter scores and whatnot. But when you've got 150 or 1,000 entries each week, how you're going to watch all those and make movement standards, it's impossible. The only way
that the job of the coaches in general, like of the affiliate owners, of the coaches, to set up strong standard, to respect from the training perspective, the methodology, the standard, which then the athletes will pretty much automatically apply while they have to do qualifiers, competition, or whatsoever. And then the judge will just make it exactly right, and that, so it's not 100% obviously the fault of CrossFit. It's impossible.
No, but I think you're right. I think it does fall on the affiliate owners, for the athletes and people that have signed up for the Open at affiliates. It falls on the affiliate owners to be in charge of that. It's just part of the job, part of the role of running an affiliate. If you're doing the Open, that needs to fall on you. I think a lot of this, and I keep coming back, it's a constant kind of discussion and that I keep having and with people, is where does the last year or so, since sort of August last year and before that, but there's been this discussion about HQ and the communication and where they're going, and it's their fault and this, that and the other. And I can't help but think some of it is some of it falls back to the affiliate owner, the accountability for things like this. It's like media. You guys have ran with the media, and I'll show them in a minute. You own your socials. You dominate the space. They are incredible. You obviously spend a lot of time and effort on those, and it works. When it comes to the open, I think a lot of that does fall on the affiliate owners to push, promote, get members engaged, you know, get the Friday nights going. And it just seems that last year we've kind of reached a burnout point with that. There's so many affiliate owners that have just gone, can't be bothered this year for whatever reason. And I think some of it comes down to just the environment online of CrossFit and this, you know, the questions about HQ and the community are disheartened a little bit. And I think the affiliate owners, rightly or wrongly, have come to a point and they just think, do you know what, I can't be bothered this year. I don't see value in it for myself, so I'm not going to promote it. Now, if you go to affiliates and you look on their socials from December, let's say, that have been beating on the drum, the Open's coming, we're training for it. Yes, the Open, passion. There's a gym in Northumbria in the north of England that are like 320, I think, it might be more sign-ups for the Open. And they have been promoting the Open. I think they're number 2 in the world behind, I think there's one in either Portugal or Brazil that have got the highest. But they have made it a priority to talk about the Open and bang on the drums. And when it's coming from the top of the affiliate, so the affiliate owners down, it's a trickle down effect. And that has been their emphasis and their drive for the last 2 months of promotion. A little bit of that Open ethos does come from us as affiliate owner. I say us as people, as affiliate owners. It's like anything at the affiliate. If the affiliate owners, you know, talk about something, are really passionate about something, the community follows suit. They go because they trust you. So I think the relationship where this comes down to, I think, is the relationship between HQ and the affiliate owners. Mm-hmm. If that was stronger, if there's more of a bond, for rightly or wrongly, for different reasons, if that was stronger, I get the feeling that more affiliate owners would have been pushing for it. And of course, the one thing that people seem to forget about last year that happened was the affiliate rates went up. So I think we're seeing the knock-on effect of that clearly, because the numbers came in, and I think there were 9,500 affiliates that had entered people for the Open, down from 14,500 last year. So there's 5,000 affiliates from last year that, for whatever reason, haven't entered people in the Open. And I can't help but think they're the ones that have unaffiliated or de-affiliated. So the numbers are clearly going to be lower. And I think the people that have unaffiliated, are they going to be really passionate about the Open? Probably not as much. Can they get away with just running the Open Friday Night Lights without entering scores and doing it, like you said, running their own version of it? Yeah, they can. So they probably have. So I think the Open's a funny one. And I'm, you know, affiliate owners have done what they wanted to this year, which is absolutely fine. I think it's going to be on CrossFit, whoever the new owners are going to be coming the next year, because obviously it's for sale. So we'll see how that goes. Rumor has it that it's a European company. So I've always been under the impression that to really broaden the scope of CrossFit, to get where they want to you know, have incremental growth in terms of marketplace and numbers and affiliate numbers and everything like that, they need to set up, whether it's a physical office or not, but different regional sections of HQ. They need HQ in the US. It should and always will be an American company, needs to be centered there. But for communication purposes, I've always said this, and so many people have as well. If they had, for example, Europe is 750 million people. We should probably have a regional office for Europe where CrossFit has a European, you know, we can communicate, we can openly have dialogue, we can have meetups, everything like that. It just makes life a lot easier. And I think then you're going to see that rebirth, that renaissance of CrossFit across the globe. And whoever's buying it has a fresh start. They get the opportunity to do that. And I think they'd be very wise to consider regionality within CrossFit, because you think of any other sport, organization, business, whatever you want, they don't centralize in one place and just stick to one place on earth. You have to broaden. So we love CrossFit. you know, your affiliates, you live and breathe it every single day. You open up at 5 a.m., you close the doors at 10 p.m. You live and breathe. You want it to survive because you know the power of CrossFit. But in order to do that, we need to give feedback. And part of the feedback this year has been for the Open is we've kind of lost touch with you guys at the top level. We need to reinvest and we need to move forward. So, no, you know, your feelings on the Open aren't unique to yourself. A lot of people do share those. Right, something a bit happier. So before we do this, how many members have you got? Do you know?
You spoke about it.
Yeah. No, sorry, I was just saying that the affiliation fees increase has been drastic, and I think created a lot of frustration overall.
Was there any point where you kind of decided you had to choose, and you obviously did carry on, but what was that thought process between the two of you?
So when they increased, I called Victor and I said, okay, so that's like a 50%, 50%, 50% increase on the fee. And we're like, okay, so what do we get for that? We didn't see any added value for that amount of money for us as affiliate. So we're like, so what do? We continue with CrossFit, or we just, because the fact it's a bit different. If we're in a very big market, a very big country, maybe we just stay as CrossFit because, you know, for market purposes. But being in Malta, in a small island, we already built a reputation. People, they know us, they know our name. So whether we are CrossFit F15 or we are functional training F15, wouldn't change much. But everything that we created is built around the name. And we do have a lot of people who contact us and look for us on Google, for example, from CrossFit research. So we thought that it might, you know, for the difference of price, it's not worth going through the hassle of changing all our marketing. But we can get it absorbed through different way in the business and stay using CrossFit, but also communicating on different other side of things. But it was a bit of a
we're wondering.
Frustration.
As well.
Like come on, guys, like $1,100 extra for getting what, you know, a T-shirt when you sit for the Open or something like that. But I mean,
in terms of the cost, now fortunately, I sold my last affiliate in 2021.
Okay.
And I've coached and operated out of CrossFit gym since, but I didn't have to go through that process. But I often like to think, how would I have done things? How would I have reacted last year to that? And I spoke to a few people at the time, and one of the guys that stuck with them and did retain their affiliation, he just put it simply as maths. So he said, for me, I need to recruit an extra 3 members each year to make up to pay for my affiliate fee. So can I really knuckle down and use whatever tools that come in to recruit 3 extra members for the whole year? That will pay for the affiliate fee. And when he broke it down like that, 3 members to stick around for 12 months, it made sense to stay with it, because for me, that you're going to recruit 3 extra people off the back of it. However, with the caveat that we want that additional value. If it's just going to remain the same value and it's just going into shareholders' pockets, that's the perception, then we're not going to continue. However, if we're going to see value, then I can see why paying that money would be worth the money, rather than just outright going, no, don't want to pay it just because it's more money. Things go up in price. We understand that value is perceived. So it's a tricky one, and I don't envy any of the affiliate owners for having to go through that process, which is a tricky one. So before we last thing before we move on to your socials, because I've left that as like I'm teasing people because they want to see it. The Malta Throwdown.
Yeah.
So talk us through that. So what was the first year that, because you guys run the Malta Throwdown, what was the first year that you ran that?
2022.
So last year we didn't do, so 22.
Yeah.
Awesome, lovely. So it's been in the last few years.
Yes, so it started. So basically, in Malta, there was like a non-affiliated gym that were the first to organize local competitions.
Yeah.
So it was really, really aimed for local people, and we thought, I mean, we competed everywhere with Victor. We went to France, Italy, in Cyprus, everywhere. And we thought Malta doesn't have an international event, so why not organize it ourselves? So we have a lot of contact with a lot of gym owners across the world, because Malta is such a touristic place that we built a large network of owner friends all over Europe and all over the world. And but we thought that we were going to lack resources to organize such a big event. So we decided to get in touch with another affiliate in Malta and try to combine our effort together to bring that event. So we discussed, and we at first shared the same vision of what an event should be like. And we just started like that. We said, okay, let's do it. We created the name, the logo, and we started to work on preparing the event, finding the venue. And it is quite an adventure to organize such an event. Oof. Oh yeah, it is.
Especially the first year.
Especially the first year, because it's the year that you learn everything. So we spent a lot of time planning, and Victor is amazing at attention to details, organization, rotation, and his mind is always thinking on, there will be a problem here if we do this workout and we have this time cap and rotation. So
I think it's programming from CrossFit, because it's always like programming, looking back, no, that doesn't go. Programming, looking back, no, now that there is. So it's always like this, you know. And
so we ran that event, and it was really good. We didn't want to start too big with too many categories, because we wanted to stay focused on quality and provide a good event. So we limited the category to scale intermediate and RX, but one team category. But we didn't start to split the category into different age group, because it was going to be too much. We started to hit off our first edition with 10, only hit of 10. And we had those 4 categories. We gave some wild cards to some games athletes to come, support the event and bring a bit of excitement for people and local people to win. We had a lot of sign up for the qualifiers, like a lot, and then we retained about 260 athletes for the final event.
Excellent.
We did everything well. Only one little hiccup we had throughout the event. We knew that was going to be a risk, because the scoring was complicated and so on.
Because it was a knockout event, and we needed the score to come really quickly, and there was an issue with the scoring, which has messed up a little bit on the day one, which has messed up a little bit that event, and make like the event quite late compared to what it should be.
So delayed.
So that was the little hic of the first edition, but we really caught up very well the next day.
We're early actually in the end. But it was a bit, everything was going super smooth. We were quite happy about it, and that event just delayed everything. And when something goes wrong, that's the only thing that you can see. All the rest that's good is just down the drain, and that's what happened. So everybody was frustrated. So we couldn't mess up the final day. We did good. So everybody had an overall very good feedback on the event, and in fact, we received a lot of messages after about the event, because we tried to do something really, really nice. Also, we were tried to be very community oriented with the athletes. So they're not like just people coming, competing and paying, but like try to meet them, discuss about them, being friends with them, and so on. So then we ended up having a lot of messages about, are you going to do another event? So we did a second event 2 years ago, last year, 1 year ago. And that one was perfect, like clockwork.
Really good.
We learned from the first year. And it was perfect. Communication was great. Rotation was perfect. There was no lateness. We were more in advance. So that was an amazing event. We are so happy about it.
We had crazy good feedback. Like that's the thing, is that what people say afterwards. Us, we can have our own feedback, like, oh that was good, and so on. But maybe the experience of people who was not there, we never know. But no, we had some like very impressive feedback from a lot of athletes afterward. But yes,
that the work was crazy. So at least for us, the reward of all the work we put in, because we spend a lot of time planning it, and then we spend from the setup of the event to the end. it's crazy. Like it's so much fatigue and it's so tiring and it's really, really hard. But after when we get the feedback, it's like, okay, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we had a bit of a disagreement with the other part that we're working with. Our vision were different, and we decided to part ways. And not to continue with the event anymore. That doesn't mean we won't be organizing one, because we plan to organize one. But our current focus is opening our second facility, which we are in the process of. So we're gonna have maybe in a year CrossFit F15 number 2.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, so that's why we put it aside. We weren't really on the same line anymore on how the event should be like, which happened. It's not a big deal. It was not our priority. We did it to bring something to Malta, but what it is. Now we had been looking for a place for a long time in the south part of Malta, because it's been demanded for a long time, but extremely hard to find premises and permits to operate, because our current gym is constantly full. So it's been our problem, which is a good problem to have. But it's been a problem because instead of continuously growing, we are continuously slowing things down, because we can't cope with the demand. So we have to open registration, close them, put a wait list, so it's been like that for a while now, and it was time for us to grow a new gym. We finally found a place, which is huge.
Brilliant.
And we are in the process of permit application and planning the new gym. So we thought that once that is set and it's rolling, then we might consider combining our effort from the 2 gyms that we own to do our very own event without any other part that we have to agree things on, and just do our own thing with the plan. So that's our plan for the future.
Because the main issue as well is for a live event like the Malta Throwdown, you need a lot of volunteers. We also have people from our gym who wants to compete and participate to the event. And we also want to give a maximum of quality in the judging, in the respecting the standard for the experience of the athletes, for all of this, and having only our members. That's why also we unified with another gym at first, is like having more possibility to have more help for that live event. Now having 2 communities, even into one, because they're gonna be CrossFit F15, but having like 2 gyms, it's more people. It's eventually also more help to organize such a big event. So that's why our priority is first also and opening that gym, and then we're gonna see how it goes.
We talked about this before we came on air, but the community always has to be central. That's always central to what we do. Everything else is an offshoot of the community. If it's not feeding back and supporting the community, it's not worth our time or effort. And actually the opposite, it can be detrimental. So at the moment you guys are on the map. So your new obviously I don't want to give it too much away, but so you're going to be somewhere down the south of the island?
No, not down south. It's going to be more central. So it's not going to look very far from the gym, but you see Marsa here go a bit lower. A bit lower.
Hello. Yes. Yeah.
So basically around that area near the sea.
Oh, lovely. Amazing.
So basically from a how can I say, from a driving perspective, Malta has a very big bypass that cross from south to central area, which is very, very busy at peak hour. So the idea was to have a gym which is for people living in the south or working in the south, to not have to pass through that bypass to access the gym. So because that was the biggest issue for them.
Probably a good idea.
So what we did, we found that place, and it's going to be really big, very big common area as well. I'm really excited about it. But
excellent.
We have to wait for the permit. But we're planning everything, so we're hoping that within a year from now we should be ready. And
lovely. And again, it sounds like you've prepped and kind of primed coaches at the current F15 gym. So I'm assuming you're going to be sharing coaching and responsibility across your current crop, rather than, you might be recruiting new coaches for that. I don't know.
Yes,
but
so go ahead for that, Victor.
Yes, we have potential coaches. I have a friend as well from France that would be eventually willing to come. That I started to train him, and then he went to France to actually. He's living in France, but to pass some certification and his skills. He's actually coaching now in France. I mean, we have to see exactly what we will need. We're still thinking about it, obviously. But for me, most important is to have somebody that is motivated to learn, because we can have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 24, whatsoever. I want somebody that is ready to understand how we work. I like actually the few coaches that we had, mainly were coaches that was a member before in our gym, and that really understood the way we were working, and we trained them so they could really represent the value that we want in terms of coaching, community, socializing, and so on. I mean, it's important for us that we're all in the same line. Obviously, there is always different style of coaching. So I'm never trying to influence everybody. Everybody has his own personality, but we do have the fundamental lines to respect, to make everything logical and uniform for everybody.
That's been really important because we brought that point in the story actually a while back, because a lot of gyms, they have 10 coaches. They have 10 coaches. Everybody's doing a little bit here, a little bit there, and we focus on having a small team. But our coaches are full-time coaches. They are not coaches and another job on the side. So they know the members, they know what they need. And what's very important for us, and Victor explained, is that the coaches that we have, they are qualified and experienced. Everybody have their own personality, which is great because it's nice to have different type of people. But it's very important that Victor train them in his own way of seeing things, because we want everything to be on the same page. We can't have one coach saying, do this like that, and your front track should be like this, and then he comes to a second class with someone telling him completely the opposite. We have a standard set for how we coach, and everybody have to respect that, but not only on how we teach people, but also how we run the class, how the scaling option work, how the split have to be, how the attention have to be split between people depending on their level, and that we can't have people left aside, and so on. So
especially that what you have to know is that in Malta, it's very different than if we would have opened a CrossFit gym in France, for example, where most people, they are your members, maybe hopefully for a very long time, and there is maybe a very little turnover. In Malta, it's a big turnover. Like come coach in Malta, and you can just become a better coach if you're ready for it and if you're passionate, because you've got such a turnover, always new people coming into the gym. I know some people organize, some gyms, a lot of gyms organize that I would have dreamed at the beginning when I started, to be able to do that, foundation classes, 5 sessions, 1 month, and whatsoever. In Malta, we can't do that. We tried that for a while, but we can't really invest for people that our time to teach them, for people that will just do the foundation and go abroad. It's nice for them, but also business-wise, it's not really realistic, So we need to take people to any class as they are, and the coaches needs to be really trained so they can handle in that same class, someone very advanced, someone intermediate, someone completely beginner that maybe never moved in their life, somebody that is a bit in between. We have so much, but that's why over the years I have tried to build the best way to handle this, and I need to train the coaches so they can, from whatever experience you have around, it's not going to be like in your gym before. It's going to be there. And yes, if we want to maintain quality and not lose people coming in, especially the new people, we need to absolutely structure that properly.
And you've done that well, because the coaches that we have are excellent. We have amazing feedback from coaches, and you can see on our social, actually we put raw footage of every coach, not only of Victor but all the coaches, so you can see that they have their own style, but the way they teach is the same that Victor would.
And we we talk about this all the time about like you get gyms that put so much money and time into recruitment of new members, but if only they focused on retention. You don't need to recruit if you're retaining all your members. It's all growth rather than just chasing your tail about, you know, trying to recruit because you're letting so many members through the net. You know, you're losing a lot because of the poor quality of a standard. You've got to look after your coaches the same way. You have to retain the good coaches.
Yeah.
How do you retain them? You reward them. You make sure they feel part of the community. They're in the forefront of the community, and everything comes out of that. And by the sounds of it, you guys train them up really, really well, and they want to be there rather than coming in to do their 2 hours a week so they get a free membership.
No.
That
work for us.
No, they are there because they want to be there. They were probably members beforehand. They fell in love. It's their what used to be the pub. They'd go there on every evening to sit at the bar and chat. The pub is the CrossFit gyms are the new pubs, and we can proudly say that we did that 20 years ago. We introduced that concept. But yeah, so coming back to your coaching and your social media, I'm going to bring it all together now. So I'm hoping that we can hear this. I'm going to try and get out. Wait. I'm going to start it again. Hang on. This is one of my favorites.
And we have more coming because now we have new video coming out, and we try to change a little bit. We started those. I will explain how it came and what we started to do, but we are going to change. That's our promo. I mean, that's a different topic. But
you can't trust anybody, but you can trust CrossFit F15 to provide you with the best fitness classes, the best coaching, and the best experience. We have 10-day intro offer. It's only 19.
That one really tickled me to start with.
That was the first we released, actually.
Yeah. So there's a few. I've got 4 that I want to show now, and not right straight away. But I've got 4 of them that I keep watching because they're just brilliantly well scripted. Have you got any acting experience? Because it's really good.
Not at all. And to be fair, we barely script anything. We just like watch a lot of stupid videos, and we just try to, sometimes you don't have to reinvent things. Just have to own them your own and rebuild them your own way. And most of the video we do, there's no script. It's more like natural. We just have the overall idea, and then we just like, okay, let's do this one, and we say something on those lines, and you just come out. And that's it. So there's not really script, but it came from we spend a lot of time trying to do videos, do content, trying to what works, people like, what they need, and so on, and realized that what we're doing was good because we always try to provide good quality videos, everything like images, design, everything like neat and branded and create like our image. But I was feeling like there was something missing. That we are showing a lot of mixed reels with people moving in the gym, trying to motivational things. But everybody does that. That, and I'm always trying to look for something different than the others. And at the end of the day, in our gym, we are a nice community. We have a lot of fun people. We like to joke. We like to make prank to our members. We like to, do dumb stuff. So we're like, we should be doing videos that are a bit more like lighthearted, if you can say, and that people just can see and say, "Oh, it looks fun there." Like this guy looks funny. So I can't imagine how a class is like if they are like this.
Exactly.
And coaches, and we started with. Because I like to follow a lot of also marketing things, not related to CrossFit, but overall marketing, what works, viral videos and these kind of things. And I was like, let's try to use hooks and then transition to something related to the gym. That's trying to build the engagement, make people stay on the video a bit longer than they would if it was just a classic motivational video. And we started like that, and we had fun doing them. So and then we start to flow everywhere, new idea. So we shot tons of videos. And now that we did a lot of hook to transition videos, we find the idea of a little bit of more comedy in the gym with exaggerating the thing we see daily in the gym. So that will be coming next. Will be, I don't know, I don't want to spoil it, but like the Hyrox athletes, I don't know, even about coaching, about the mistakes that are done, we try to exaggerate them in a funny way. Yeah, and we found the engagement as soon as we started ridiculously higher than what we were doing before. So like, okay, people like that. And enough, because the first video we did, I was a bit more in front of the camera. I go around Malta and people see the video, and I got like people, oh, I saw you guys in this video, blah blah blah. Or I got messages of people, oh, I just messaged you because I saw that video, it was funny and made me want to try it. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, that's what we wanted, you know. So so we thought like we should find a balance between funny video with like a message about our services, and also showing what's happening in the gym. That's why we do all those raw coaching moments. So it's like raw. It's like the videographer comes, he shoots. The coach has a mic just so we can hear what he's saying, but there's no script. It's like what the class is like, 100%. So we try to balance that and give that image that we are for everyone, we cater for everybody. The coach gives you attention, they give you tips, they know you, everything is homemade, the programming, the event. We do a lot of events. We actually, the first gym as well, about 2 years ago, created a yearly calendar of events to show that you can find it on social, to show that we every month because I was realizing with Victor that we were doing events on the go. Oh, like it's time to do an event. We haven't done something in a long time. And like in training, you have to be consistent to be able to keep things going. So we said we need to be consistent with social events. So we said, let's sit down and build the calendar for the upcoming year. And we said that month we will do this: in-house competition, drinks, restaurant, Christmas dinner, Halloween, there's the opening, there's that. And we try to build a whole calendar we can communicate to our members. And like that, it forces us to do it and constantly engage with our members. And now gyms in Malta are doing the same thing, which is great. And our main, most fun event is our award ceremony. So we started that. So 3 years ago, you can find the first video if you scroll a bit back down. And that's the best one because we set up a stage in the gym, a red carpet, chairs, a lot of food. And we take the mic and we have trophies and we create categories and we do those speech about all the people that were nominated, and we bring people like the winner after all the gym vote for who they believe should win that or that award. And we bring them on stage, they share a little word, we have drinks. We did sumo fighting last year with costumes.
I saw that. Look good.
Really, really cool. So that's very important for us, this kind of things, and that's how we want to communicate, show things. We're not like they are showing we like people who wants to compete and they reach a level that they want to push further, and we are Victor is there to help them.
We support everybody.
So, but
exactly,
I mean, your competitor is 1% for most of the gym of your members, but I will always support them. Now that's not the center of everything, so we need to give everybody and help everybody.
For sure, 100%. So, I'm glad you said that. So, all right. So, this is the first one that I found, right? And you got to tell me how you did this transition. Hang on.
Not join CrossFit F15. Join us now.
This transition is.
Are you listening?
If you are, our latest class starts at 8 p.m. So you have no excuse not to join CrossFit F15. Join us now.
That transition is insane. Like I had to watch that so many times to see how it happened. And with all of these, like I'm thinking about it in two ways. One, I'm fully aware of CrossFit. I know what it's all about, and yet I'm engaged. I'm thinking, what's the message here? Where's he going with this? How does that relate? Is there a play on words? Is it And I've been in it a while. A new person that's out there doing something else, seeing this is going to be so engaging but informative. It leads, you've done, like you said a minute ago, it leads so well from a hook and then a bit of information about it, and it's so good how you've done it. I'm really, really impressed. I've sent it to so many people.
Funny enough, this one was not the one with the most engagement for some reason, but I was finding it really, really good myself, not because we had the idea, but because I thought it was perfect. Like you see that like a good-looking woman walking, and it's like the transition is super quick. So people will focus on the woman, and then boom, transition to what I want to share. because we have a lot of people asking us, what's your latest class? I finish work late. So here you go. 8 p.m. is our latest class. So
exactly. And this next one, I'm going to time it badly here. But
our gym
it really tickles me.
Our 10-day intro offer allow you to try.
So many times seeing and doing this.
That is so funny. Like the kind of and they
does it well?
I absolutely love that. Like it's really funny because it's gone from this woman that's obviously doing it for a bit of clout and and then you've just gone and then carried on and made it's brilliant. Just the act. That's why I said if you got any acting skills, but well, you have got acting skills, but like.
But not laughing was hard on that one because the videographer was like, you have to stay serious, don't laugh. And we have a lot of videos where I couldn't contain myself. But that one, I had like a second of like I was doing this and I knew how I was going to look and I was going to laugh, but I was trying to just stay straight face. Like the last one I think you released it somewhere. The last one I released, and that one the same. I said that expression in English that is completely nonsense.
Oh,
straight face. Saying that and not laugh, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
That was the one that I was going to pull up. So hang on, let me.
My friend told me, "What the hell is wrong with you, Yann? Like, what are you doing with this video?"
It is so good. It is so good. Hang on, I'm going to try and get it so that it's. I don't want to get it. I don't want to make sure that people don't hear the first bit, but I've just missed it. Hang on. Let me.
That the coaches are qualified and experienced. You need to make sure that the classes include that they are beginner friendly. It's very important. And you need to make sure the gym puts a strong emphasis on the community and organize regular social events.
Here we go.
Also, you need to go around the place and make sure the gym is the level of commitment that the gym has.
Here we go.
So
now we're back to the start.
My favorite expression in English is never bite the hand of the one that fingers you or something like that. And here's how to tell if your gym.
I think I just mixed up the expression here, but you got the point.
Honestly, like I watched that and I was cracking up. It's so good. But now you realize you've got a reputation to uphold now. These videos are like up here. They really made me laugh, and they've made so many other people laugh. You've got to live up to that now. There's another one that I haven't got here, but when you're leaning over and changing, you're at a car and you're at a wheel and you're turning it. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. There's so many. I'd encourage everyone to just go down and scroll and have a look at these videos because it is really, really good content. And again, from an affiliate owner's perspective, you're having fun, you're being creative. And when you're an affiliate owner, one of the big things that you hear from affiliate owners is the favorite part is the programming. And the programming is where you get to be creative. You get to own something and produce something that's going to be involved in your business. And now you've got another avenue in terms of socials that you can be as creative as you like. And you found it. You found that thing that works and really, really does work. So that's it was really good to see that.
About our social media, but also that takes a lot of time and effort to do. And the problem with a lot of gyms I realized is that they are run by the coach. So the head coach is the marketing guy, the sales guy is the coach, is everything, and that's why it's hard because a lot of gym they don't have partners. For example, like we are with Victor, they open their gym on their own and they have to deal with everything. But you can't do everything 100%. You can't be a coach and reply to the client of the message of the clients and do your social media, your ads. It's impossible. That's why it's important to have our own job, and I can focus my energy on this part and Victor on this part. That's why we can provide quality from every side of the gym, the business. That's why we are lucky in that sense because I know some owners in France. We know, for example, that when I see their website, their communication, any automation here, anything like to make things easy, no, they have nothing because they don't have time to create.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
in fact, I went to Paris, and I'm not going so often to France, to be honest. I went last year, and I wanted to do a drop-in, so I was checking a bit the Parisian gyms, and that was so complicated to book a drop-in.
Yes.
You need to send an email,
and
you need to call them.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a process when you can in 2 clicks just book your drop-in and come in, you know. So I think there is a lot of things that could improve in marketing and
people. I mean, a lot of gyms, unfortunately, they don't understand that they need to invest a little bit of time and effort to automate things that should be automated, should be made easy to people. That should save you time to focus on more important things for your gym and your community. Not doing these things that, as you said, when I looked at a lot of websites, we changed our system, our software, our app about a year ago. I was looking at many teams in Europe, how they were doing, how they were communicating, what apps they were using. And I was like, oh my God, like you had to message the gym, get book an appointment, to book a free session, a free trial. You had to send an email, wait 3 days for an email back, to book an appointment on the phone, discuss with one of the coach to book you into a session. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Hurdles.
Already, I'm lost. I'm going to go to the gym. I mean, So, sorry, Victor.
It's just the amount and the number of hurdles. You're creating even more barriers to getting people in the door. And as affiliate owners with a lot of experience like yourselves and your business acumen, so you know how business run and how to recruit people, and you know, Victor, with your ability to coach, you know both ends of, once you getting people in the door is tough. Coaching them is tough as well, but you've got the resource at the gym that you know about. A lot of gyms have probably got exceptional coaches, but the systems just aren't in place to get people in the doors, and they're probably missing out on that. And the irony here is, right, and that hasn't been lost on me. We talked earlier about both of us, sort of all of us live on a small island, and Malta and the Isle of Man are very, very similar in terms of size and distance from, you know, mainland. You could be excused in thinking that we don't really need those systems in place because we've got a contained community, we've got a limited pool of people that are going to attend. And we're very local based. Everyone's community based. Everyone gets on with. Everyone knows everyone else. You could get away with thinking that we don't really need these big systems in place because we can get away with it. Whereas in Paris, London, you know, all Berlin, they need those systems in place in order to operate because they just don't have the resources or time. But it seems to be, and I think you've hit the nail on the head. It seems to be the other way around. Like the places like ourselves that don't necessarily on the surface need these systems, we've all got it. And like you've hit the nail on the head. It's time. We've got a little bit more time on our hands in order to focus on the priorities here. And it allows us that freedom to do that. But again, the bigger places and the busier places can potentially do that. They just need to delegate and get the right people working on the job at hand. And it's tough. It's really tough, but you've got a really good balance there. And
the website is one thing, but it's not everything. To be completely honest with you, with the way that our client come from, it's mostly Facebook ads. Ads, and then we build automation in the background because if a lot of gym owner can relate, every time you receive a message from someone for questions, it's always the same question, and you can't afford to repeat over and over and over again the same thing. So if you want to know how we operate, because I have no problem saying how we do, we have our website, which is one part of things that we built our SEO so we can be found first when we find CrossFit in Malta, CrossFit gyms in Malta, and so on. But then our ads, we spend a lot of time creating our own ads to engage people. And people, basically, they will... We found WhatsApp to be a very good tool to speak to people, because nowadays, especially in Europe, I don't know, in the USA, they use WhatsApp a lot. So basically, when people, they come from an ad, they will go from WhatsApp, and we have an AI that will basically talk with them exactly the same way I would, and give them the information. And we've been improving our AI system for a year now, and I would say it's perfect because the questions are the same. The all the time is the same thing. So it just saved me so much time to work on something else and give them the timetable. Is it beginner friendly? Yes, it is. How do I book this? How much does it cost? All the things. So we save so much time. Give for the right answer. It might sound a bit, we are very community oriented, but these things, they are not community yet, you know. And a lot of people, they come to fish for information. There are a lot of people, they waste your time. There are a lot of people, they are not motivated, but they just want some information. So you need to really put your time in the right place and give information that are available on your website. If you take some 5 minutes to go through it, and they don't, I give them just basically that, and then I take over once all the questions have been answered, and they make a first step into booking a session and stepping into the gym. Then we take over. But until that point, there is no point in me because we have so many leads. For example, since December, we had over 700 leads. I can't cope with 700 people on messages. So we have no choice.
That's a very good high lead rate, isn't it? How many members do you have at your current gym?
We always, because as Victor said, we rotate a lot in and out, so we always have in the area of 300, a bit more than 300
I appreciate why we rotate, because it can sound a little bit like people are leaving. It's because we have a lot of foreigner coming for 3 months in Malta, for 6 months, for 1 year. There is always a big turnover in Malta, so that's why we end up always change.
Because you have people coming to learn English, you have people who work here with a contract which is 6 months, a year. You have people who've been here for 2 years and they have an opportunity abroad. So the rotation is constant in that sense. But we are in the area of 300 plus members consistently, which is our more or less our capacity, because our gym is not very big. It's about 400 square meters only. So we try to maximize as much as we can, and we have a lot of classes to cope with that. We have 6:30 a.m., 7:30 a.m., 12:30, 4:45, 5:50, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. So we have
double class.
And basically we have 2 rooms, so we have double classes all afternoon. So
early morning.
So we have about 150, 60 members on average a day coming to the gym.
That is insane. And again, people that are used to living in like big countries, you know, if you're in Germany, what's the population of Malta? Do you know off the top of your head?
About 500,000.
500,000. Yeah. Right. Okay. So that's not a massive pool to draw from compared to central Berlin, you know, where you've got 10 affiliates. So the fact that you've got that and you're thinking of expanding and getting a second unit and a larger unit is just testament to how well you've done everything. And over the years, it's since 2016, it's 9 years coming up. So you've been at it for a long time. And an easy way to look at how the things develop is just go right to the bottom of an Instagram page, see how it started and see how professionalized it gets. It keeps building. It's a really easy way to do that.
Yes.
And when you go to affiliate,
our first video, I think on YouTube was our very first video, and it was made with a GoPro. I remember it's not that bad for 2016, but the difference of level now is
and the adaptation to the market, the constant striving for getting better and learning. My final question to you guys. Well, second final question. I've got 2 more because I know we're 2 hours now. First question is, where do you draw? Inspiration is a word that's like all yoga and all but where do you get where do you pull ideas from? Where do you have a mentor? Do you have someone else that you talk to within CrossFit? Do you have someone in another industry that you talk to about ideas and how to run business? Is there anyone that you do that with, or is it just the 2 of you?
Just the 2 of us. For Victor is constantly looking at, but you can say what you're doing with learning things on your own.
Me, I've been first. If you talk about inspiration, my first coach, Salim Okranin, in France, who was inspired me to be extremely, because he was a really strict coach. So learning on respecting our methodology, sport, and being really careful of the people, but then I've been developing my own way to coach. Yeah, it's just constantly studying, watching videos, taking very different opinion on things and making our own experimenting at the gym. I did many mistakes. Like, how could I not do, but you learn from that, you think what you're sharing is the right thing, and you realize that maybe not, but it's because you always try to study, always try to improve, and yes, so yeah, but I have no one specifically to look after, and it's just like
from the marketing side of things and from the management of the gym, we don't have a mentor, we don't have anyone giving us idea. Like Victor, I'm the kind of person who we have an idea, so we learn from the past, obviously, we try to improve from the past, and then we have to also look from other perspective and what's out there. So I'm always looking at other gym, how they communicate, how they offer this, how they offer that, and I try to spend a lot of time like finding the perfect recipe for us, create our own. But yeah, I think that's the only way. I mean, people, I understand they need mentors and these things. I have the chance to have studied a bit business. I ran different type of companies, not only the first one I had. Even during the time of CrossFit F15, I set up other businesses. So I'm always the kind of person who learn nonstop, and as soon as a project is finished, we test it out for 6 months, we get our data on how things were, how we improved, and now it's time to try to level up again. So constantly we always try to make it better and better and better, and we also get feedback from members. We spend a lot of time messaging the community, asking their opinion. We're not a dictatorship. We want to know what they like. But even when it comes to time table, we ask them, is there like a time slot that you want? Is there a class that we should add? We do poll, we try to see what they want, try to get the feedback, and implement constantly like that. So that's how we try to do. I mean, we're not perfect. Probably there's a lot of things we can improve, but we are doing everything we can to provide the best service and experience to everyone. That's
but again, everything that you're saying is for the betterment of the community.
Yeah. For sure.
All of it. None of it is about you. It's always the community, which is front and foremost what affiliates should be kind of running with. Because if you get that right, everything else falls into place. As long as your community are happy, they're healthy, they're moving forward, it all makes sense. It all works. And the amount of reviews you have from people saying all the right things about your friendly, your fantastic community, outstanding coaches. I mean, that's what you're after. Community and coaching. If you nail that, you've got it made as an affiliate. So
you can see our review. That's also a point that we develop a lot, and we were slacking a bit over the years. Is like Google reviews, getting reviews from clients. And for the last 2 years, 3 years, I've been pushing a lot of people to give us reviews. And now we almost hit 500 reviews on Google, which we are really happy about. 5 star, and we are super happy about it. So it's very important.
It's funny.
They don't have a lot of time about it, but it's really important to put it out there because people, they look at it.
One of the I spoke to a guy from Dublin a couple of weeks ago, Ewan, at CrossFit Dublin. He worked at Google in their sales for SEO stuff back in 2008. Not 2008. Was it about 2010, 2012-ish? And he now took on all of the web-based and social bits and everything like that for CrossFit Dublin. And it's like your experience that you're bringing to the table, both of you. It just shines through. It's obvious, and I think that's where the people that have come to CrossFit with that experience have really excelled in the last sort of 5-6 years. They're bringing to the table a lot more than just, it used to be bloke with a beard with a dog in a van, pulling up, opening the doors, coaching a few hours a day, and it was enough to kind of, feed the kids. But now it's developed into so much more than that, and you guys are a living testament to that. So everything, and with these shows, what I'm after is not only just highlighting like where you guys are at as individuals and what you're doing, but also giving ideas to other affiliates what they can use and sharing good practice. And you guys are like living and breathing it all. So my final question to you is, moving forward over the next, say, because you're coming up to 10 years, so next year will be 10 years. over the next sort of 18 months, the expansion to the other unit is obviously a big deal for you. Where do you kind of see development for yourselves? So you talk about expansion, you need a bigger unit. Is there anything that you particularly feel like you're working on that you've kind of found that hasn't quite worked for yourselves? Or do you think by now you've got all the basics, all the foundations nailed, you're just refining now?
I think that's that. I think we're refining and trying to just improve. But I think, as you said, we lay a good foundation. We know what we're doing. We know what what doesn't work. Obviously, we try to evolve with the new trends and the new ideas that comes out. But try to always refine what we do and improve it. I don't think we will reinvent something. No. I don't think there is a need, but I think we can always do better. Look for ways to be better.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But one other day, what's something interesting that we do that we can speak about and can help owners as well, because as you say, it's interesting to share ideas and see how what we are doing can help others to implement some idea to level up their community. And because we also look for other gyms to see what they do to level up ours. We have a system of tags in our gym with members that when a coach starts a class, each member have different type of tags, and our coach have to check the name of class before the class 5 minutes to identify the tag, to be able to welcome someone who stepped for the first time in the gym, to someone who have an injury, to be able to be ahead of things. A lot of people, they are a bit shy when they step in the gym or they enter a big gym and they don't know who to speak to. So we try to create ways through client tags, so people can identify who is what. If someone has this injury, the coach will come to the class and say, before they mention anything, listen, I saw that you have this knee pain. Can you do this movement, or I can change with that one? And the member, they can feel it. They're like, oh my God, like he knows already that what I have before I say it. Or the person stepped in the gym, we know that it's your first session, so the coach is there to welcome them immediately. So they feel less stressed and more taken care of. So we try to build that as well, which is very, very important, we believe.
Is that a physical tag, like a sticker or something, or is it on their profile?
It's on the profile online. So it's like
amazing.
So depending on their behavior, we created automation to attribute a tag based on different behavior. Also, some questions we ask them, so the coach can be ahead of these kind of things before. So it also level our professionalism toward members. If they have injuries, we know what membership they have. If the membership will expire, we can check if they have to renew. So we have an idea constantly of where things are going.
So basically, we have an iPad. We have an iPad where there is the list of each class, and we need to check them in when they are here for the class. And we can see, as a coach, I'm gonna look at the next class coming in 5 minutes, and I'm gonna see like, okay, listen, or 10 minutes. I'm gonna see, listen, and now I can see there is somebody tagged new, so I know that person is going to come for the first time at the gym. So I need to be, because it's easy to spread and to be somewhere else when someone comes in. You see no one, and I'm looking for the coach. With the coach here, there is a lot of people. There is nobody at the reception. So okay, I'm gonna be here. I know someone is going to step in the gym, and I'm gonna welcome that person properly. I'm gonna talk to her, to him, and show him around, ask questions that are necessary to know to assess that person for the session. And yes, make that. We think that the first impression is probably the most important. So we want this person to come in and to feel great straight away, you know. So we have the same thing, but not just for new people, for like, okay, there is this tagged injury, so we know that we can talk about that injury before the session and see how it goes, reassure the person. So
it helps the coach plan their session. For example, if they see that there is 5 guys with the introduction offer, they will know that they are very beginners. So they will be able to, okay, that workout is like that. I know these 5 guys coming out on intro offer. So I will set up my class that way. If we see that all members are all regulars, then we know it's going to be a bit different, you know.
Because the trick as well is when you have a lot of new people like this, it's easy also to focus too much on them and lose the intermediate or advanced athlete. But the opposite, then you spend time there and you don't spend enough. So you need to find that balance to take care of everybody. And that's where the work is a little bit more complicated here in Malta. But
And so just so that I'm understanding this, so is this on a platform that you guys have developed, or is it on a system that like a booking system?
It's so basically we used to use one software and app for many years, and we realized that it had its limits. Yeah. And we spent a lot of time digging into what system would be the best system for us. And we came across that company, which is American. It's called Moments. Not to do advertisement for them, but they're really good, like really, really good.
Moments, did you say?
Moments, yeah, Moments.
Okay.
And originally it was built for more multi-location gyms or franchise, and a lot of yoga studio. But they developed a lot of things for gyms. And they keep on improving, constantly improving to make it the perfect software. And they have also a very, very big emphasis on the sales, marketing, and retention and automation. And it makes it like a really, really good software. And it allows us to customize our own CRM exactly the way we want and create our own tag automation. And that way we created that process in our gym, which is very specific. So our coach with Victor, we have a regular meeting, and we're like, okay, this tag is to be handled that way. If the client has this tag, you have to do this. If the client has this tag, you have to do that. And like that, we can keep communication and things very smooth that way.
Is it this one? Moments?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And the branded app is super smooth. The UI is really well done. There's a lot of feature. There's referral program, so our member can automatically share their link to invite friend. We have guest passes, so members can bring a friend for free and jump into a class and have fun with a friend, a family, a parent. There's so many options, and it's like I try to push the software to its limit, but they constantly try to develop it. And honestly, it's
it's been good.
It's been amazing. And since we changed, our turnover increased by over 20% in a year.
Wow.
Ridiculous. The time we saved, really. So that helped us, because having a good software is a game changer into your organization and also for your clients, for the experience with the clients, because they spend time on that app, booking the classes, looking at what the workout is, and so on. So that needs to be also a good part of, you need to provide a good app and a good system for your members.
Right. Good. Do you know what? That's it's lovely that sharing this kind of practice is good, but when something is, when you've got testimonial as affiliate owners that something has worked, it's really easy to use, it's customer friendly, and it's actually increased revenue. What more could you want? That's great. Thank you guys.
So if someone's watching that and they want to have a look, honestly, it's to look into it, because it's worth it.
Excellent. Thank you for that. I'll definitely be checking that one out and passing on that. But lads, I appreciate we're at 2.25 hours now, and I asked you for an hour of your time, so I won't keep you too much longer. But thank you so much for imparting your wisdom and telling us your story. And personally, you guys are really, really top guys, and I can see why your affiliates boomed together. So you should obviously be very, very proud. I'm sure you are, of what you've achieved and what you continue to achieve. From a CrossFit perspective, keep up the good work. You're doing an insane job. You're making people live longer. You're giving them, purpose. You're giving them drive. You're giving them a community of people that they can see every day and be part of. And you get to lead that. And what an incredible opportunity that is, that we've been given to be able to do that. So thank you so much for that. I'll definitely keep in contact moving forward. I'm really looking forward. I'm sure everyone else will be. The next video is coming out. So, thank you for your time. I'll just say bye to the chat. But if you hold on the line just for a second, guys, we'll have a chat quickly after. But thank you for tuning in, everybody in the chat. Thank you. I know the Americans are just waking up, but have a good listen back to that. Some really good points about ownership, about community, about coaching, about systems. So. And you get to learn a lot about the lovely country that is Malta. So thanks for your time, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. More information coming in there. Thanks, Yann. Thanks, Victor.
Thank you so much.